Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Apparently, the Indiana Fever have salvaged the season temporarily, salvaged the season, still in playoff hunt after a comeback overtime win against the Connecticut Sun. Let's talk about this. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all your support as always. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. So there's a saying at the professional sports level. Every win is a good win. Sometimes you have to win ugly. The Indiana Fever did exactly that, folks. They did exactly that. Now, I made a note. I'm not sure I caught the Connecticut Sun biggest lead of the game. The last note that I made was 21 points. I think they got down. The Indiana Fever got down 21 points to the 6-win in last place, worst record in the league by far. Never won 2 games in a row this season, Connecticut Sun, before staging a late comeback in the second half when Kelsey Mitchell got hot, lit it up, tied a career high with 38 points. And for the first time all season, I'm going to do this because, like I said, I may not always be right, but I try and tell you what I believe to be the truth, give you the facts, and be fair and give praise where praise is due. And Bree Turner in 14 minutes was an important part of this comeback. And why can I say that? It's because when she played, it wasn't the entire comeback. But when Bree Turner played, I believe in the third quarter, I think AB was in foul trouble. That is when the comeback got launched. At one point, when Bree Turner had played, I think 5 or 6 of those 14 minutes, Chloe Bibby had finally played about 5 or 6 minutes, only played one in the first half. They were both at the time the only two pluses in the plus minus category for the Indiana Fever. And then at the end of the game in overtime, the clincher was a 3-pointer from the corner by Lexi Hull that put them up 7. Now, granted, Kelsey Mitchell did a ton to get there. I'm just, again, following up with Bree Turner. Bree Turner got the ball in the lane about 12, 14 feet from the bucket. Nice pump fake, put the ball down on the floor to dribble. There was traffic. She kicked it out to her left to a wide open Lexi Hull who buried the 3, went from a 4-point lead to a 7-point lead, and that was pretty much all she wrote. That is a great heads-up play by Bree Turner, and especially it stood out to me because what I noticed, and I noticed it multiple times with Odyssey Sims, and as much as I had praise for her, and she did play well overall, she is not a point guard, and she seems to have trouble passing the ball to those who are not quite as tan as Odyssey Sims. It seems horrible to say, but hey, this is the state of the WNBA and what we've dealt with all season. Multiple times she had Chloe Bibby wide open in this game and refused to pass. There was one time she cut to the basket on the right side, ended up going baseline all the way through. So she's literally facing the corner, the left corner for the Fever offense. Chloe Bibby right there, wide open, easiest pass in the world, doesn't give it to her, instead tries to pop it back out around the top of the 3 in the middle of the court. We end up turning the ball over. Absolutely terrible, terrible play by Odyssey Sims. But again, this is a weird one. Like I said, that's why I said in the pros, you got to win ugly sometimes, and a win is a win. And in terms of advancing, staying in this thing, getting to the playoffs, that is all that matters at this level. That being said, of course, looking at it from a outside the team, from an analyst standpoint or even a fan standpoint, you are not happy about this win, especially with the way they've been playing, losing to the Dallas Wings, losing to the Washington Mystics, as lucky as you can possibly be. Again, thank you to Bree Turner. Thank you to a insane second half by Kelsey Mitchell. I think she had 2 points or maybe 4 points at halftime, and I don't believe she had made a shot. I believe her points, I think she was 4 for 5 from the line at halftime and had not made a shot from the field, and yet she ended up 11 of 22, 5 of 8, got to the line a lot, 11 of 12, 38 points and a plus 14. She was absolutely on fire. It was night and day. It was two universes, two worlds colliding, two completely different Kelsey Mitchells in the first half and the second half. And Lexi Hall was phenomenal, doing all the dirty work again. She only took 8 shots, which is ridiculous. 3 of 8, 2 of 6 from three, but she grabbed 7 rebounds, grabbed 4 offensive rebounds. Also, I think I made a hold on, man. I want to see if I made a note as to when because it was late in the game. There was let me just real quick bear with me for a sec. Okay, yeah. Huge rebound. I have my notes here. Huge rebound by Lexi, offensive rebound, going flying in there to get the ball to Howard, who got to the bucket, made a layup, and got the and one to go from a tie game at 73 to a 76-73 Fever lead, which capped a 13-2 run by Indiana. Phenomenally important play in this game. It was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, this is a wild game to process because like looking at it from a fan and perspective, analyst perspective, and the rest, it's like, how do I get happy about this? But obviously, it's huge for the Fever. Like I talked about in a previous video, they were, a game away from being out of the playoffs. So this is a huge win for them. Obviously, did not start well, folks. I mean, halftime was 48-29. Then they did what the way you needed to do. They started climbing back in the third quarter, right? 23-15 advantage in the third, and then 32-21 in the fourth. And I think that was it for Connecticut. I think they were sort of deflated after that. I know a lot of you are probably wondering about Sophie Cunningham, and I will get to that. I have some things lined up. And look, I looked at it multiple times, and I see it from someone, again, someone who trains athletes, but also has played. And those of you who have played sports enough to know you can tell a lot of times you can tell the difference in players' movements between something that is purposeful and something that is, they got bumped, they're out of control or what have you. And as we will see, we'll break it down. I believe 100%, and especially when it came from Bria Hartley, who's as dirty as it gets, it was a absolute on purpose dirty play. And not even a foul was called. Although they tried to call a similar foul not nearly as bad, not dirty, on Lexi Hull, which is absolutely insane. But so yeah, this is wild. Caitlin did not travel with the team. I believe her boyfriend's grandmother passed away. So of course, thoughts and prayers with them. And look, I'm one. I don't think she should be traveling with the team anyway. I think the Fever are doing that because they think that's going to get more fans to tune in because they're watching Caitlin on the bench. But Caitlin should have been home. When you're out this long, you stay home and you do what you need to do to get healthy. Man, there was, and it wasn't just. I'm sorry, I just had my thought again about Odyssey Sims. It wasn't just Bibby, because I have a note here too. At 5:43 left, I think it was. I'm not sure if it was in the game or third quarter. I didn't make a note of that, but Sims had Hull wide open and doesn't make that pass. I think that might have been the play I was talking about, and I said Bibby. I might have misspoken. And then she forced the ball elsewhere instead. But yeah, this was a wild game, folks. A wild, wild game. So yeah, my first time all season giving shout out to Bree Turner, but we have to go to this. First of all, here's how and I was like, I knew I didn't want to hear these announcers all game after this because when they reviewed this, oh man, his name's escaping me now, but the dude without the testosterone, talking about how they're reviewing it for Sophie Cunningham. Hopefully, I can show you this. I'm sorry, sometimes they're so weird about it. Certain little anyway. So hopefully you can see this, but she's clearly fouled there. She has the ball. The girl clearly, boom, like jumps on her. Sophie's like, "Get off of me!" And they called a foul. They called I think a flagrant on Sophie Cunningham on there, right? Yeah, because they shot a free throw and got the ball, which is absolutely insane. So when you saw that, you knew how things were going to go for the rest of the game. And I want to see. And before, let's not forget. Let's just go back. Let's go back a little bit to this. Does everyone remember this play against this team? Let me throw in here. Absolutely purposeful, absolutely purposeful. I'm going to drive Sophie this way. I'm going to foul, and then I'm going to see Sophie out of my peripheral vision, and I'm going to elbow her in the neck. And of course, nothing is called at all. So Sophie Cunningham is absolutely a player that has been getting targeted. And then we have this, and I really hope I can show you this. We're going to watch Bria Hartley, as dirty as it gets, does not belong in the WNBA. Sadly, I think that is most of these players. They don't have the skill, and they're very dirty. They're big, slow bodies, and they're not basketball players. I'm sorry to say, but now, okay, so she's going to drive. Now, Look how she falls, and then she makes sure she leans. That is, she absolutely makes sure she's going to make sure. I'm going to see if I can slow this down for you because I think this is important. If you watch this enough, you will see. Oh, come on, man! What are you doing to me? Yeah, you stay there. You are going to see the way Bree Hartley moves. Let me get it closer. You don't need to see all this in slow motion.
Going. She is so
Now she's
effective
falling, and
down
then she
low.
leans to her
She hit a
right.
lot
She
of
did not have to lean to her right to extend out onto Sophie Cunningham's ankle. That is
effective
100%
down
on
low.
purpose. See how she twisted her body a little bit to make sure she got out to Sophie Cunningham's leg. By the way, nothing called there at all. Hopefully that this is one of those things where it hurt a lot more in the moment than it does in terms of permanent damage or something that's going to keep Sophie Cunningham out for a long time. So yeah, and then again to show you how bad it was, I think I have it here. Let me make sure I got everything covered that I want to show you. Is we have this is Sophie Cunningham's sister at WNBA. Maybe you should focus less on finding players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are able to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic, praying for you. By the way, have you noticed the difference in class from Lindsey Cunningham versus, say, some of the relatives of Fever players with regards to Caitlin Clark? Can you see the difference? Yeah, me too. So Lindsay's got a point. I think everyone recognizes about the WNBA. I don't even know what to say at this point. This is such a trash league. And this, I believe, is Sophie Cunningham's mom, her mother. Hartley is a disgruntled player having trouble everywhere she goes. She's plain mean and plays out of control. Good for them. Tired of people being sorry for being honest. This league is a joke. Players getting hurt because the refs just won't call anything. Yes, prayers for Sophie. It's outrageous. The refs didn't even call a foul on Hartley for that assault. Hartley was ejected from the Suns' previous game. Yes, she was. So I don't even know why she's playing in this game. Let me know in the comments below if that changed. Am I misunderstanding at least what it is in the NBA in terms of, getting an ejection for something and then being suspended in the next game, or am I just so used to that with a red card in soccer? Hartley was ejected from Sun's previous game. She's the one who pulled Angel Reese's hair in a prior game to prevent Angel from jumping for a rebound. So there you go. This is the player who has a history. And so again, going back to it, I promise you without a doubt that play was a dirty one by Hartley. Sophie Cunningham was absolutely targeted on that play. And this is unfortunately what we're getting from this league. And I think a lot of people are really, really tired of it. It's going to be interesting to see, again, what's going on with the CBA and what happens going forward into next season. But I don't want to draw this one out. I really wanted to just cover the Sophie stuff. And of course, shout out to Bria Turner because I've never done that. Shout out to Kelsey Mitchell as well. Shout out to Lexi Hall, who was a big part of this comeback. Natasha Howard was solid. Again, I give those shout outs, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, why did you need to come back from such a huge deficit against by far the worst team in the league? And I know Sophie got hurt early, but you know what? They were already down big when Sophie got hurt. In fact, let me go check this just out of curiosity here. Sophie was minus 15 in her 10 minutes, right? Because Connecticut Sun came out pedal to the metal, foot all the way down on the gas, and just rolling over the Indiana Fever early in this game. Again, 24-11 in the first quarter. The Fever did not come to play. Stephanie White did not have this team ready. All we can do is say, hey, Kelsey Mitchell this time did help put the team on her back. She got some help from Bria and Howard and Lexi Hull and so forth, and they were able to get a win. But you get down 21 to almost any other team in the league and you're done. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. As always, appreciate you checking this out. Smash the like button. It helps out tremendously. Subscribe if you haven't. Go have the day you deserve, and I will talk to you later.